Hey there, welcome back to Tips Over Tea. I'm excited to introduce you to LJ Johnson for this week's episode. We're actually going to be talking about the importance of balancing hormones. I know, doesn't seem like a very fun or interesting topic, although it is a very important topic, but I tell you what, if there's anyone you want to be educated by, it is definitely LJ. I'm telling you, her energy, her enthusiasm, her true, authentic self really wants you to live your best life. So go ahead, grab your tea, grab a notebook, grab a friend, listen in, and we'll see you soon. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Tips Over Tea. I am so excited to introduce you to LJ. She is just a dynamic person for women and their hormones. LJ, thank you so much for joining the show.
Thank you for having me. I love it. I love it. One of my clubhouse besties. I love connecting.
Yes.
Get to see each other, feel the energy. It's just amazing.
Yes, I agree. So let's hop right in because time just flies by. So we're going to be talking about the importance of hormonal balance today. What does that mean exactly? Like, which hormones? Are they specific hormones or where do you start with that?
Right. And maybe I'll do a small intro because then you're like, why is this LJ lady trying to tell me what to do? What does she know, right?
Do
I am LJ Johnson, holistic hormone expert. I specialize in endometriosis, PCOS, and fibroids, everything women's health, everything womb health. Baby, I be all up in your business, but it's for your own good. I am all things hormones, right? Holistic hormone balance. What is hormone balance? It's everything, right? As a woman, right? As a female, let's be honest. When things are going on with your body, you are like, oh, my face is breaking out, right? You run to the dermatologist. You're like, oh, I'm bloated. I'm going to go to the GI doctor. Oh, my back hurts. I'm going here, right? And so we're very symptomatic, right? And yes, those symptoms need to be addressed. We're always putting Band-Aids on things. But when I'm talking about hormonal balance, it's bringing everything into balance, right? Everything is connected. Your endocrine system, your thyroid, your uterus, your pelvis, all of these hormones, estrogen, progesterone, like these are the things that aren't sexy, right? Nobody wants to talk about your progesterone level, your estrogen, your testosterone. You're just like, I have some cystic acne. I got to take a picture. I'm going to a wedding in 2 weeks. What do we do to get this acne under control, right? So what I like to do is really focus on women's health by really highlighting the importance of hormonal health, right? Most people, like I said, you don't think about your hormones. You don't think about gut health. You don't think about pelvic health. You don't think about your uterus until there's an issue. So my goal really is to motivate, educate, and empower my, my entire audience, whether or not you have a uterus, but mainly if you have a uterus and not just women, to be the best version of themselves, right? To know that despite chronic illness, despite chronic pain, because a lot of my patients that I work with are dealing with the diagnosis of endometriosis, PCOS, or fibroids, that you can still have an amazing life. I will say that again. My goal is to empower, educate, and motivate you that you can have an amazing life despite your symptoms, despite your diagnosis, right? And that is my passion. I come from a long history of chronic illness. I've healed myself naturally of eczema, allergies. I've healed myself of endometriosis. I had a lot of hormonal imbalances, right? So let's talk about hormones. Like I said, I like to break it down and not get too nerdy, but when I bring the symptoms in, the acne, this, that, and the other. So here's the deal. Everything in your body is connected. Like I said, we like to silo the symptoms, but specifically with women, especially at the uterus, right? There's a lot going on with our hormones, right? They're going up, they're going down, you're ovulating, you got a cycle, you're in menopause, like everything runs off your hormones, right? So if you can get those hormones in balance, it will check off all those things, all those symptoms that you're chasing, all those prescriptions and supplements and everything you're doing, right? Get the gut health in balance, the bloating would be better, right? Get the gut health and the hormones balanced, you wouldn't be chasing those extra 5, 10, 15 pounds. You wouldn't always be fasting. You wouldn't always be on a diet. So it's really bringing everything into homeostasis, right? I know it's a very broad term, but I'm like, that's the best way to put it. Like, balance is balance, imbalance is imbalance, right? Usually we're dealing with imbalances, right? Let's be honest. Let me just throw out some symptoms, especially for anyone that has PCOS, for example. You're possibly dealing with the balding hair pattern, right? The facial hair, right? You're like, the hair is balding on top, but your girl got some whiskers, right? That's some testosterone that's out of balance, right? Other hormones that can be out of balance are insulin. Too much sugar, right, in the system. Your body's not properly shuttling the carbs, this, that, and the other. Insulin resistance, right? When you're dealing with that hormonal imbalance, maybe diabetes 1, 2, maybe it's not even categorized or diagnosed as diabetes, but that is a hormone, right? Vitamin D. I know everyone's taking more vitamin D now because they're like, I'm in winter, I'm not getting the sunshine, but that is a hormone. So when those things get out of balance, that's where you have the issue. The other analogy I would give for hormonal imbalance is, think about this, right? You got a brand new car, right? Maybe not a Tesla, because I think it could probably fix itself. Let's say you've got something besides a Tesla. So you have a brand new car outside, you go out there and there's a flat tire. Are you going to put your family in it and be like, hey, we're only going to drive about 100 miles an hour for about 5 minutes? No big deal, right? Check engine lights on, flat tire. It's not a big deal. Think of it as your body, right? When your cycle comes, your cycle is a vital sign for your body, right? So when your period comes, it goes, it's late, it's early, it's heavy, it's painful. All of those are a vital sign. Those are your check engine light coming on, right? So I really focus on menstrual health, right? Knowing how to optimize your cycle. A lot of the times we're just like, oh my gosh, I'm in a bad mood, or I can't do this project, or I can't focus. It may be that, but the other thing is are you working with your cycle, or are you working against your cycle, right? Are you working with the flow of your cycle, right? There's so much. I could go on and on and on. But I like the car analogy, right? Because when that car is breaking down, you need to stop, right, and take attention to it, right? You're not going to go get an oil change if you have a flat tire. You're probably going to get the flat tire taken care of, right? But think about it as women, when things are going on and our body is throwing all these symptoms and kicking out all this stuff, we just keep, clearing the check engine light. Oh, my back hurts. I'll take an ibuprofen. Oh, my face is breaking out again. I'll just take my birth control to keep my skin clear. Oh, I'll just take a, antibiotic. And there's nothing wrong with pharmaceuticals, but you want to be able to have quality of life without relying on those 24/7.
Yeah, I feel like they've made it really, they've more normalized the fact that these symptoms are not normal. And so there are meds that are needed, as opposed to, okay, these symptoms are not normal. What can we fix internally?
Exactly. So, and as women, we chase symptoms, right? Yeah. Like I said, nobody thinks of gut health till they're bloated. And then they're like, what did I eat? Oh, I don't even journal my food. Who knows what I ate? I don't know. And you're like, I'll just go grab some Gas-X. But it's like, the Gas-X is not going to take care of the fact that you're eating a bunch of processed food. You're not drinking enough water. You're not pooping 2-3 times a day, right? Like all of those things, when your face breaks out, how many of you sit and go, I'm not pooping on a regular basis. You're like, oh my God, my skin is breaking out. I need to get to the dermatologist. And I'm like, no, girl, what you need to be doing is taking care of your gut health. So those are just little tiny examples of what I do. But like I said, huge heart for anyone that has endometriosis, PCOS, or fibroids. It took me 16 years to get my diagnosis of endometriosis. And so it was very challenging. So that's what really brought me into what I do.
I love that. So, because right now, to most women, like fatigue, cramps, brain fog, like that's normal. That happens normally with menstrual. But does it have to be a normal thing, or can that's what I thought.
You're right. I'm gonna piggyback on what you said. It's something that we have normalized. We have normalized being in pain. Oh, it's your cycle. You're bloated. Oh, honey, that's just how it goes. Oh, you have your period, you're in pain. Oh, honey, that's just part of being a woman. I'm going to be honest, as a woman of color, my mom told me, you're a strong Black woman. You're in pain. Like it was almost like you can't be both. And so I'm like, oh, I'm a strong Black woman. Honey, there were days I could not walk on my period. There were days I was crawling to the bathroom. Strong Black woman, I don't care what color you are, purple, pink, blue, whatever, magenta. You can be a gradient color. You can be clear, translucent, all I care, right? The pain is the pain. The pain is the pain. And so we have normalized that. And so many people, I will say it may be normal to feel like something is going on, but when you're passing out, especially with endometriosis and fibroids, when you're passing out, when you're vomiting, when you can't hold down water for 2 or 3 days because you're on your cycle, when you are having, chronic sinus infections, all this inflammation, when your body is going from like a size 8 to a size 14 for a week and a half because you're on your cycle, that much inflammation, that type of bloating, that is not normal. But once again, like I said, especially for our type A'ers, I'm a high energy girl. I'm like, I love to go, but we just put the Band-Aid on. I'll take the Gas-X. I'll take the water pill. I'll sit in the sauna and sweat it out. I'll do a water fast. Like we've found all these things. But at the end of the day, I love the point you made. It's not normal. We have just normalized it. We have just taken it as a burden of, I've got the uterus, this is how it goes. And so that is a lot of the education I do as well, that just because you have a uterus does not mean you have to be in pain. Doesn't mean that your cycle has to be painful. You should not, when I explain the period as a vital sign, I'll say it as this. It is a vital sign, but it should not be a life altering event, right? Real
Mm-hmm.
talk. You should be able to be on your cycle, still go to the gym. Maybe you do yoga. Maybe you're not doing your crazy kickboxing class.
Yeah.
But you shouldn't have to call out of work. You shouldn't miss 5-6 days out of your life. You shouldn't have a horrible week of ovulation pain and then a horrible week, like it shouldn't be something like I used to do. I'd mark on my calendar, basically letting me know I couldn't travel that week. I couldn't go to work. Don't commit to this. Don't commit to that. Like I was revolving my world around my period week and PMS week, right? If
Yeah.
that is you, we need to connect, right? Because I've been there. And we
Yeah.
do. I would take the PMS teas, I'd have the pills, the potions, the lotions. But it was like at the end of the day, I just accepted it as that's what it was going to be. And you're right, it is not how it's supposed to be.
Right. And I was reading, I can't remember which book it is. I've got to do better about that. But they were saying that it wasn't until like the industrial age when menopause symptoms started to show up. They're like, before that, there's no mention of menopause symptoms. So
Right.
that tells you in and of itself, like that has to do with your diet, right? Because back in
the right? I know y'all are like,
yeah.
I'm ready to turn her off right now because I ain't changing my food. I'm like, I don't care if you're vegan, vegetarian, keto, paleo, baby, I've heard it all. And here's the deal. Nutrition is key, right? If you don't want to take any nutrition changes, I feel you, but at least cut back on the processed foods. All those processed foods, all those chemicals and all those toxins, right? Now, grandma, when she was on the farm, she wasn't coming across all these, estrogens, all these chemicals, these pesticides. We want to be spraying Bath and Body Works, honey. I'm coming for you. The perfumes, all that, I'll be honest, even hair relaxers, all of these things, we want to do that. That is putting a huge toxic load in our body. And I know for some people, they don't really think about detoxing until January, right? New year, new me, blah, blah, blah. Everybody's about to get slim thick. I'm like, whatever. Like, I'm pretty over it, right? Yeah. Beginning of the year, I get it. Detox is a buzzword. But here's the deal. If you're gently detoxing your body throughout the day, every single day, you don't need to do a big flush, right? Like those are helpful, and depending on your medical situation, I'm a physician, or I'm like, let me rephrase this. I am not your physician. I am a practitioner. So I'm not telling you what to do, but what I am saying is you need to really work with someone for those big pushes, right? But if you're detoxing your body on a daily basis by eating vegetables, bringing in water, making sure you're sweating, using an infrared sauna, a castor oil pack, like those little things right there are easy, gentle ways to detox. And you don't have to do the whole, like, I'm not eating for 2 weeks. I'm only on a water fast, this, that, and the other. I'm like, honey, your attitude is bad. You probably gained some weight on the water fast. Probably got rode up at work because you're tired, you're lethargic, you can cuss somebody out. Like, you're just acting a dang fool, right? It's like, is it truly worth it? Is that really the true health and healing? Or is it a gimmick, right? Is it a diet? Or is it a lifestyle change? And so that's a big piece. The nutrition is huge. And then the toxic load on our body. I think sometimes when we finally get on our healing journey and we're like, okay, I'm buying what this LJ lady is saying. She's a little high energy, but I'm going to go ahead and take it. But then you're like, what now? What do I do? And we get so focused on what we're going to put in our body, which I'm still okay with that. But do you ever focus on detoxing your body? How are you going to get the stuff out of your body? How are you going to get the toxins out? Are you going to sweat today? Are you going to be in the infrared sauna, which I'm going to do a little later today? I did some cycle today. I sweat on the treadmill. Or the cycle bike. Are you going to drink extra water? Are you going to make sure you're having those 2-3 bowel movements? Are you going to bring in the fiber? Like, what can you do on a daily basis? And so I think if we really focus on those tiny things, I know people say like hormonal balance, and they're probably like, oh, I got my pen and paper. She's probably going to give me 8 supplements. It's going to make me just amazing. And it's like, I could, but at the end of the day, the supplements are, very individualized, right? I don't like doing just generic, everyone go get vitamin D, everyone get vitamin C. Yes, they're amazing, but you want to get something specialized just for you. Also, supplements are, like they said, to supplement your nutrition. You shouldn't be on supplements, 5, 10, 15 years. Maybe you are, depending on your situation, but the average person, they bring in, they supplement, they get your levels to where you're at, and then start bringing in the nutrition, then start bringing in the lifestyle changes so that you can progress.
I love that. When you do it a little bit every day, it's got like a compound effect, right? Like it's easier to do a little bit at a time, that baby steps. Like I just got finished rereading Atomic Habits, and they talk about little, right? And so even if you can just implement one thing for right now, like get more veggies. How would, as far as sweating, like if someone can't physically do a lot, you said sauna, What are some other ways? I was thinking like you could, for me, I have like I have a small bathroom. I could put like a heater in there and just sit in there, make my own sauna.
Yes, ma'am. I'm talking about there's a will, there's a way. We ain't playing around. I'm gonna take it a step further. Throw your butt on up in the bathtub. You can do an Epsom salt soak or magnesium flakes, 20 to 30 minutes. Now, I'm not talking about a bubble bath where you're just back there jay chilling. I'm talking about you and that baby. You're sweating from your forehead. I do it probably 4 to 5 times a week, a magnesium bath. I do. I get in the bathtub, get the water hot. Now, don't burn yourself, but get it hot enough to where it's a little like, okay, this is hot, but you want to be actually sweating from your forehead. That's the key. Yeah. That's a detox bath, right? Yeah. That is not requiring you to do anything special. Just jump in your bathtub, grab the magnesium salts, grab the Epsom salt, and that's a form of detoxification, right? Drink more water, get more fluids in, get your water in, put some fruit in your water. Very simple. Bringing in, a lot of us aren't even getting into basics. We want that supplement. We want that diet program. We want that 6-week challenge. And it's like, we could just do the basics and they'd be just as amazing.
Yep. and when you mentioned earlier, diet or lifestyle change, and I feel like the question you should ask yourself on a regular basis when you're about to do something, is this sustainable? Or am I just doing this real quick? Right? Like, is this something I could see myself doing on a regular basis to support my health or improve my health? And if not, then maybe question that and start over.
It's all about lifestyle changes. The games don't work. The diets don't work. The cleanses, all of those things. Because if you look at it, you're just going from diet to diet to gimmick to gimmick. At the end of the day, you're still chasing the symptom of the weight gain, the acne, the stress, the brain fog. You're just chasing symptoms. And I really like to get to the root of the problem because that's where you're going to get the most wins.
Yeah. And those diets are not usually, they're not designed to be sustainable. So they're not really giving you everything you need. And getting to the root of the problem, which also means behavioral changes, right? You don't have to think about it after a while. In the beginning, it's tough, right? You're learning how to do all these things. You're learning how to, if you're going to go down the middle aisles in the grocery store, you're learning like what not to grab from those shelves. And after all that, you just know, like I had that conversation with a friend yesterday, because he's got medical issues now. And he was like, it's hard reading all those things. And I'm like, well, one, you shouldn't be down that aisle much anyway, if you're dealing with medical issues. But if you are, it's only difficult in the beginning as you're learning like what to look for in the ingredients list. So I appreciate that you brought that up. And I was thinking that you were also going to mention when you were first saying what we intake, like also what we put on our skin with the toxic load piece. Like, yes. Because our skin is our biggest organ, and
it's biggest pore. Yeah. So all those perfumes and sprays and body washes and all the glitter and the glam, that is wreaking havoc on your endocrine system. So sometimes it's just eliminating some of those everyday toxins. Your cleaning products, different things like that can make a huge difference.
Yeah, because the cleaning products, you're inhaling that stuff. You know what? I like that you brought up the different systems. So the endocrine system, the lymph system. Can you give like a brief explanation, like what does a healthy endocrine system do for your system, for your body? Like what is a healthy lymph system? What does that look like for people? Because sickness is so normalized. And that's
they're just like, we were talking about lymphatic systems and lymphatic drainage earlier. The easiest way to think about the lymphatic system is part of your waste system. It's pushing the waste out, right? When those feet are getting puffy, those knees are getting puffy, when you're gaining that water retention, that's just basically saying that your stream is clogging up. When the stream is clogging up, it backs up. Your body backs up, right? It's going to back up in the bowels. It's going to back up. It's going to be those swollen ankles, those puffy hands. I know for me, if I ever retain water, I sleep in these rings, right? They're going to be tight. Like just simple things like that. If I can't move my rings in the morning, I'm like, ooh, something is going on, right? There's something going on with my lymphatic system, your endocrine system. You guys need to get real familiar with that, right? Because a lot of you, beginning of the year, whatever time, we're all trying to lose weight. We're all trying to slim up. We're all trying to gain muscle. But if your endocrine system, your metabolism, your thyroid, all of that's not working, then you're just not going to get the same success.
Yeah. There's so much information and so confusing. And that's why I love having these conversations.
Gotta get the profession now.
Yes, exactly. What would you say if someone's watching this today, one thing they could probably start doing before they reach out to you? because they're going to need to reach out to you. But maybe one or two things that something, well, you've mentioned actually a lot of good nuggets already, but that they could probably start to do that we don't normally think about. Of course, we think about drinking water more, we think about exercise more, but what's something that we tend to overlook, maybe, if anything comes to mind?
I would start with what you're saying, the skin. The skin is your biggest pore. Check your products, check your lotions, right? Check your hair products, especially for, I feel so drawn to say this, especially for my fibroid warriors. If you have fibroids, your body is wrapping toxins and hormones together, growing those fibroids, feeding those toxins are feeding those fibroids, right? I don't know who that's for, but I felt the need to say it.
I love
Check
it.
products, right? Look on the websites. I believe there's an app called EWG. There's the Clean 15. Look at your fruits and vegetables. I know when people think healthy, they're like, I can't afford to eat healthy. I can't do organic. Not everything has to be organic. There's lists out there. Maybe we can attach the list to this. Like there's certain foods that you can buy that are not organic, right? There's certain products. I will put the website as well. Like check your products. There's so much in our products that we do not realize. And some of you have been on a healing journey for a while and you're like, okay, I'm doing everything. I'm going to yoga. I'm not stressing. I'm doing meditation, but I can't turn the corner. It could be that favorite Ralph Lauren, perfume or cologne that you're putting on. It could be that Gain detergent that just smells so amazing and you love the way the sheets smell. That could be irritating your lungs, causing inflammation. Like it could be anything. Start with your products. And then, like I said, think of detoxification as something that you take daily. It's a daily process, right? We're not going to wait till, once a year to dump all the toxins out and have a rash and all that. Yes, there are times to do that. But what can you do every single day to not only bring awesome things into your body, but to push the waste out, right? Detox bath, infrared sauna, get a small bathroom, get the heater, get to sweating, baby, right? Get on your treadmill, get on your bike, walk for 20 minutes a day, go to the gym. There's so many things, whatever you can do to move. Some people like the rebounder. You think I'm high energy and I like to bounce, honey, that was just, I felt a lot of control on that. That was not for me. But if you're a rebounder, go in and get you a Walmart, get you a little $20, bounce on it, do the rebounder. That's actually really great for the lymphatic system as well. Just a side note. So find those things.
That trampoline?
On the top. Yes, the rebounder, the trampoline. Yes, the mini trampoline. Awesome for the lymphatic system. Gets the trash, moving it out, and intake up your water.
You know what? When you said, what are little things we could do to detox every day? If you think about it, like when you have a movement, that is your body detoxing. So if you're waiting to the end of the year,
and the pumps are moving, you're pumping.
But like think if you actually waited to the end of the year to have a bowel movement. Can you imagine all of the literal?
You would be so sick. Like you would literally be back. You would be sick. And that's for some of you that are dealing with constipation. That's why you're just like, oh my gosh. And I've been there. I'd have a bowel movement and I literally would be like sweating. Like my body was like, we got to get these toxins out. That's a very big deal, right? 2 to 3 bowel movements a day is where you need to be. I know some people are like, oh, I have once a week. So yeah, I know maybe you're like, I don't think my hormones out of balance. Baby, if you're having a bowel movement only once a week, we need to talk, right? We need to get that elimination channel open so that you can get healing and some success.
Yeah, I love that.
It's a big deal.
Yeah, and that is, there's another thing that's normalized, like not going to the bathroom very often. And it's not a conversation that a lot of people like to have. I love when people talk to me about their poop.
Right. I'm like, it doesn't bother me at all. I'll talk about it all day long because it's so important, especially for females. That's what's sweeping out that extra estrogen. That's what's bringing out those toxins. Because if not, you're recirculating that stuff, right? So you don't want to be recirculating old hormones because then you're on overload, especially when you're estrogen dominant. You need to be pushing that estrogen out, right? I mean, you can eat all the broccoli in the world, which is going to grab it. But if it's not literally pushing out the waste, it's not really doing any good. Sorry.
Yeah, gut health is so huge. So huge. That could be a whole nother conversation.
We should do a conversation on gut health.
We're going to have
ladies are like, I don't want to talk about poop. That's gross. I'm like, baby, but if you're not pooping on the regular, you got some issues. Going on.
Yeah. I would love to have you back to like really dig deeper into that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Because I know several ladies who they use help to use the bathroom because they're like nothing they've tried has helped them. And like part of it, I believe.
There's nothing wrong with that. You just don't be reliant on.
That's what I mean.
The Senna, the laxatives, the Miralax. Like, yes, there are times you got to bring stuff in your healing journey, right?
Yeah.
But you don't want to be dependent on that. You want your actual body to be doing its job. Think about it. If you cut your finger, you don't need to go buy a bunch of products for your finger. Your body knows how to heal. The issue is, and this is so powerful, just gave myself chills, we're not putting the right stuff in our body for our bodies to do their job, right? We want to put in toxins and Burger King and, Taco Bell and, this, that, and the other, and alcohol and all the fun sugars. But those are not the things our body really and truly needs to heal.
Yeah. When I took a biochemistry course many, many years ago, it never really dawned on me before that literally the food that you take in, your body breaks down to make new cells. Like if you're using chemicals that are inorganic, your body's like, I'm an organic being. I don't quite know what to do with this. And that's when you have like damaged cells and all of that stuff, which creates all kinds of other havoc in the body.
Right. P.S. Your body does not know what to do with Diet Dr. Pepper. It's just not in its DNA. Sorry.
Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah.
So awesome. This has been a wonderful conversation. I could completely talk a lot more, but I geek out about this stuff. So there's that. But I love to, as we wind down, give you the opportunity to just share, like, what do you have that people can use to connect with you? Like if they're not ready to full on start working with you, do you have any offers or anything like that? I'd love for you to share that.
Yes, I'd love to connect. The best way to find me would be ljspowerhouse.org. We'll definitely put all the links. Go to my website. The other thing would be go to my Instagram account, right? Because a lot of you are like, hormonal imbalance, balance. I don't even know what, you're like, what, huh? What? Like you don't think about it until you go to your yearly OB. They tell you you're okay and you're like, okay, cool, right? But there could be more going on. Or maybe you're like, I'm normalizing pain. Or you're like, I have endo, I have PCOS, I have fibroids, I've got one, both, whatever. Go to my Instagram account because there is so much content, right? I know you guys like to be on Dr. Google, self-diagnosing, etc. But here's the deal. When you go to my account, you're able to peruse and kind of find things that you can put in your toolbox. I always use a toolbox analogy, right? So lots of free content on there. Also, if you go to my Instagram account, there's a link. I have a freebie for anyone that's dealing with fibroids. Possibly you have PCOS. The biggest thing I realize with my PCOS sisters is they don't know what type of PCOS they have. So if that's you, I've got a freebie for that. I've got lots of free resources, just lots of amazing things. I do one-on-one coaching. That is something I do. I take a few clients per month because it's taking on a lot, but I am rolling out group coaching. So I would love to have you in my group coaching. So definitely reach out to me on Instagram or send me an email if you'd like more information about that. And just find me on social media. Lots of fun stuff coming through.
Yes, she's got, if nothing else, just go to her IG. You'll want to work with her after watching it anyway. So
all the links are there.
Like if there's anyone you would want to work with, you look for people with the passion who really, really want to see you thrive. And I will say, LJ, ever since I've met you, that is what I felt from you, because we first met.
You just get the chills. I'm like, ooh, I just get excited.
I love it. And I just want to say real quick, I didn't know there was different types of PCOS. So that's an interesting topic too.
4 types.
Yeah. So that's very interesting. Yeah. Make sure you go to her IG page. If you don't know what PCOS is, just go to her page. You'll learn so much.
Some of you may be dealing with issues and not even know till you go to my page, and then you're like, oh my God, that post, that's me.
Right.
That's why I do what I do, because a lot of the times we don't know what we don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. And don't be hard on yourself when you didn't know. Like some doctors don't know to look for certain things, and you don't know because things are normal to you. You don't know to mention it, so they don't know to look into it. So
you normalized it. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's what you do all the time, right? You deal with that. It happens every month. So of course it's normal for you, but it doesn't have to be. So definitely head on over to
awareness is key. Awareness.
Yeah. Awesome. I've so enjoyed this conversation, LJ.
Thank you
so much. I appreciate your time, and I know there's some beautiful nuggets that were dropped. So anyone watching live, I hope you reach out to her. Anyone who catches this later, same. Please do share this with anyone you know who could benefit from this information. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, go ahead and like, subscribe, and just comment, share. Like anytime anybody makes a comment, I will let LJ know, and she will reach out to you directly herself.
Absolutely.
Or her assistant. But either way, you'll be taken care of because that's what she does. That's why I got her here. So
Yes, definitely don't be afraid to reach out. I know sometimes people are like, oh, she's busy. Yes, I'm busy, but hey, I'm here for you. I'm here for my community. That is why
yeah,
I'm here. So definitely reach out if you need me.
I love it. Thank you so much. And until next time, everyone, I'll see you next week. Ciao for now.
Bye.
Thanks again for tuning in. Make sure you like, subscribe, and click the bell so you'll be notified anytime we upload a new video or go live. And as always, if you have any questions or anything, feel free to post it in the comments. We're always checking that. In the meantime, have a great rest of